Greetings, everyone. I wanted to chat with you a little bit about where we are in proportion to where we want to go. So most of you, a few months ago, set some goals for the new year. And like most people, we set goals and we write them down if we're driven and we're ambitious, and we have a better probability of reaching our goals if they're written down, I'm told. And then life gets in our way, we get busy, we're doing it, and then we check our goals about a year from now. And we find out, oh shit, I didn't hit my goals. But here we are, one quarter into the new year. So 25% of the year is gone. And effectively, almost half of the year is gone, because if you're in real estate sales or mortgage sales, by the time you generate a new listing, and it's on the market for 30, 60 days, and then it's 30 or 60 days to close, we're halfway through the year. So my question is, are you 25% of the way onto your goal? Are you 50% of the way on your goal? Or are you way behind, like a lot of people? And I've invested a lot over the years in personal coaching. If you've known me for a while, many of you know that I've worked with Tony Robbins. He personally coached me for a year. Then I had the opportunity to work with him at a very, very, very high level. And I want to share with you a secret. In fact, I just got off a call with a really dear client, and we were talking with one of their agents. And what I'm about to share with you is what I shared with them. If you're behind in your goals, it's because it's acceptable for you to be behind in your goals. Now, I want you to think about that. That's a pretty bold statement, right? But if it wasn't acceptable, you'd be on track. In other words, the reason we're not on track on our goals is we haven't made enough calls, we haven't made enough contacts, we may not have done enough community events, we might not have sent out our drip campaigns, we aren't doing all the things we know we need to do to hit our goals. Said differently, Tony Robbins talks about standards, and I remember him specifically coming over and sitting next to me, putting his big giant hand on my shoulder and said, "Hey, Bri, can I sit here?" We were in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. We were about to go snowmobiling, and it was a pretty epic experience. But we were talking about standards, and he said, there's 4 levels of standards. And he did this event in a giant mansion. It was pretty cool. There were about 60 people there. And he shared this, I don't want to say phenomenon, but he said that the quality of your life is in direct proportion to your standards. And people who have higher standards people who have higher standards have a better quality of life. I see we have some viewers, but I can't tell who's there. So that may be on the other end, but on the technical end. So anyway, welcome. Great to see you. Welcome. Thanks for coming. People who have higher standards have a better quality of life. How many of you know somebody who is ridiculously, insanely fit, in impeccable shape, right? What they put in their body, they have standards about what's acceptable and what isn't. How frequently they work out, how much they exercise, they have standards about what's acceptable. So Tony shared with me the lowest level of standards are poor. People who have poor standards get what type of results? Generally, you'd think poor. So your standards correlate to your results. So if you have poor standards, you get poor results. And then it's a giant leap to the next standard, standard 3, which is good. And there are people who have good standards, and they get generally good results. And then it's another giant leap to having a standard of excellence. And of course, people who have excellence as a standard get excellence as a result. But Tony said this to me in the group out in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, some 13, 14 years ago. He said, that used to be the way it was, but we live in a competitive world. Technology is advancing rapidly, and this was 13 years ago. The world has changed in the last 13 years. Heck, it's changed in the last 5. He said people who have poor standards don't get poor results. They get homeless, they get bankrupt, they get divorced, they get destitute, they get disease, they have health problems when you have poor standards. They're grossly obese. And then it's a giant step when you have good as a standard. You don't get good results, you get poor results. I remember him telling me, he said, Brian, I get asked several times a month. People see me on the street. They recognize me as a public figure. Tony, please help me. I got a question. My wife just left me. I don't understand. I'm a good man. Tony, I just got fired. I don't understand it. I'm a good employee. And he says, I don't have the heart to tell him. It's because you're good. When you're good, you get. If you want to hit your goals. Hey, Alex.
Yeah, we're good, Brian. We're live. I think there was just a little glitch with Facebook. It kicked us for a second, but we're good.
Do I need to go back and redo it, or
no? I think we all heard where Tony was basically, they don't have the heart to tell him that it's because you're good that you're getting the poor results.
Cool. So it was mind-boggling to me that or mind-blowing rather, that when you raise your standard to stand out, to be outstanding, to be the best at what you do, and it's a decision, it's a must for you, you have excellence as a quality of life, right? So if your income isn't where you'd like it to be, it's because of your standards. If your bank account isn't where you'd like it to be, it's because of your standards. If your health and fitness isn't where you'd like it to be, it's because of your standards. So how do you raise your standards? You make what was once acceptable unacceptable. You say, no more, enough. I'm not going to be behind my goals anymore. And I'm going to do what I need to do, and I'm going to set a schedule. And even though I don't want to do it at times, I'm going to do it. He said it like this. Excuse me. He said, we need to stop shoulding all over ourselves. People don't get your shoulds in life. I should make more calls. I should go to the gym. I should eat better. I should take my wife or husband out to dinner every now and then. I should date them again after 20 years of being married. I should put romance back in the relationship. But we don't get our shoulds. We get our musts. So what are your musts? You get your musts in life. Okay, when there's no other option. I'll give you a quick example. I've got 2 great kids, beautiful wife, wonderful family. I'm really blessed. And I'll tell you this too. Nobody succeeds in life without working their ass off. Okay, it requires effort. It requires dedication. It requires determination. But what's the alternative? Poor? I'm not interested. Good? No thanks. So I'm willing to do every day what other people won't so I can have tomorrow the life that everybody wants. So I hope that inspires you a little bit today. I'm Brian Moses, real estate coach and trainer. If you've enjoyed today's message, one of the things that I think really differentiates me from many of the other coaches and trainers is psychology. You can have all the tips, tricks, tactics, and strategies to sell real estate, listing presentations, buyer presentations, direct mail campaigns. We have all that stuff too. But the difference is the psychology. So, I'll leave you with this. Your beliefs turn into thoughts. Your thoughts turn into actions. Your actions turn into results. If you don't like the results that you have in life, you can trace it back to your beliefs. And more importantly, you can trace it back to your standards. So if you've enjoyed our time together, if my messages are resonating with you in any way, shape, form, or fashion, I'd like you to click on the link in the chat thread below or somewhere on here is a link to our Inner Circle program. Right now, we're running a 7-day trial, a $7 trial. So for $7, you can click on the link and read all about it and try our stuff out for 14 days. There's lots of great videos that you can consume, deep training, buyer presentations, seller presentations. Plus, you get 2 live calls with me each month. One is a topic call to increase your profitability and revenue. Another one is a marketing review call. So check it out for $7, the price of an overpriced cup of Starbucks coffee. You can get lots and lots of training, work on your psychology, raise your standards, and make this year an incredible year. I'm Brian Moses. I appreciate your time and viewing in and checking us out and leaving your comments and sharing this video with other people that you think would benefit. Have a great day.